Hello, I'm Robin and welcome to Molten Music Technology. Today I'm going to build a couple of synthesizers. First one is the Erebus, second is the Hades, both from Dreadbox, both fantastic reissues of classic synthesizers that we've all loved and always loved. The Erebus was in my top 3 semi-modular synthesizers when I first started out in doing hardware modular. In the end I chose the Mother 32 for various reasons, but the Erebus was absolutely up there as my first choice of semi-modular synthesizer. It could have been that, and I've wanted one ever since, and it was of deep hurt and pain to me that they discontinued it and started doing other things. So the fact that it's back is fantastic, and I can't wait to build it and give it a bit of a play. Now these have been rejigged, both of them, into the same sort of format as the Dysmetria and the Dysphonium, the Dysmetria and the other one, which I've got in a case over there. So the idea is that while they will be standalone synthesizers, they can also be, like this one, dropped into Eurorack. So they've had a little bit of adjustment, they've had a little bit of tweaking, but they still absolutely retain their awesomeness. Now the Hades, I know a little bit less about that one, I have to say, because my focus was on Erebus. I don't really know why, but the Hades is supposedly a awesome, deep, bone-rattling bass synthesizer. So that's pretty cool as well. Now my understanding is that these are more on the level of a snap-together kind of synthesizer, a bit more like the Moog Mavis rather than the Dysmetria that we looked at before, which was a proper soldering job. My understanding at this point, I might be wrong, is that this is more of a putting together sort of affair. I'm just having a look to see what the things that you might need. It doesn't say soldering iron, so yes, we're putting it together rather than soldering it. But these are still the kit versions, they still need assembly, and that's what we're going to look at today. And at the end, hopefully, get a chance to make some sounds and play with them and kind of see what makes them tick. So there we go. The instructions on how you do it are on the website. Just go to support and go to the DIY kits and you'll find the construction manuals. And that's what I'm going to be using now. I haven't pre-read it or gone through it. This is going to be me bumbling my way through these things, just like you would if you were doing this. That's what's awesome about all of these things. So I think I'm going to start with the Erebus, because that's the one that I'm desperately wanting to play with. So we'll start with that, see how that goes. Then we'll build the Hades, and then we'll just have fun from there on in. Right? So let's have a look and see what's in the box. Some stickers. So, okay, here we go. So there we have it, the Erebus, the front panel, the new slightly reworked front panel. As you can see, it's got the holes there for dropping it, I believe, into a Eurorack situation. You know, I might be speaking out of turn, but that's my understanding, and obviously we'll discover all of this when we get to the end. This is all the hard work. See, the hard work's been done for you. Everything is already in place. So this is what I mean about it being a kind of a push together kit rather than a soldering building a synthesizer kit. In here we have the case, and I think that's it. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of knobs and washers and screws and things. Got a little power board here. This is how you turn the synthesizer from a Eurorack module into a USB powered device. So that's going to be important. There's a standoff, a nut that might have escaped from the bag, the power cable for Eurorack. Oh, a couple of extra knobs. So yeah, I've had a bit of a leak out of my bag by the looks of things. This is the MIDI adapter. Oh, make sure I've got all of the bits. And this is the actual case. Nice, look at that. That's all rather lovely. So let me have a look at the instructions to see where we get to. So in the box you will find 3 PCB boards. 1, 2, oh, and the little one, 3. Yeah, that makes 3. Good. Now I'm looking at the Hades. What I want to be doing is looking at the Erebus. I think it's going to be similar, to be fair. The aluminium panel, yeah, front panel, plastic bag with parts, yeah, metal enclosure, ribbon cable, DIN MIDI adapter, yes. Right, so it now says in the small bag, so let's make sure that we have everything. In case you're wondering, yes, it is cold in the shed today, but that's okay. My fingers are still moving. I think we're going to be up for it. So let's have a look at what we have. What does it say? 16 small knobs, 4 large knobs, yeah, 4 rubber feet. Got it, check. A little annoying hex screwdriver thing, yeah, which means there's going to be hex nuts, which, there we go. Can't help with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. 14 brass bolts. Brass? Do you mean these? They look a bit nickel plated to me. 4, 8, 12, 14, yes. 8 spacers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yes. A plastic spacer, yeah. 6 washers of the little ones, yeah. 20 pots and 20 nuts. 20 pot washers and nuts. 5. I think we have everything. Fantastic. Good to go. Additionally, you may need, or you will need to have, alright, so a tuner, a multimeter, yeah, okay, got one of those, a 10mm hex nut screwer. Oh, what, for these? Yeah, well, fingers will do. A small straight screwdriver for trimming, a larger straight screwdriver for the knobs, a Phillips, USB adapter, USB cable, some mini jack cables, a couple of Crocs connectors. Don't know what they are, but I imagine these things will become clear. Step 1. Place the 2 bolts as shown in the picture. 2 bolts. Okay. Oh, I'm enjoying the pictures. I like the fact that there's lots and lots of photographs. So they want one of these and this one. And this is going to go somewhere over here. Let's see where I work this out. And that one there. So that the spacers are facing the component side. It's oddly hard to see. So I think what I need to do at the moment is just pull this apart. It's just connected via these headers here. And in order to match the picture in the manual, it's not screwed together anywhere, is it? No. So let's just wobble it apart a little bit. Just gently, so we're not bending anything. And that way, when I look at the image on the screen, it is matching better what's happening. So this is this way round. So here's the screw here. So you see this is the back of it. It's here next to that knob. There's the knob in the image. So that is where that goes through. I would not have got that right had I not taken that apart. I was assuming it was this one for some reason. Anyway, so put that through with one of those risers and it will screw straight in. Like that. The other one is a little bit harder to see. Is there any indication here? Not really. Suggesting there and down here. This one seems to be on a corner by all of the patch sockets. So I think it's this one here. Yeah, okay. If you go down a picture, you can see them being placed there. So that's the first one to do. So I'm probably making too much of a meal out of this, but I just want to get it right, you know. I just want to get it right. So next, place the 4 bolts as shown. Place the 4 bolts as shown in the picture so that the spacers are not facing the component side. See, the thing is, it says as shown in the picture, and it shows you 4 bolts alongside with 4 washers, which is great, but it doesn't actually show you where they go. I mean, there's one there, and that's going underneath here somewhere. No, that's a complete mystery. What? So, hang on. What is going on? Place the 4 bolts as shown in the picture. So you've got 4 of them and 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't show them in this picture. There's one there. So what they want is a standoffs on the bottom. Okay, so standoffs on the bottom. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 holes in the top. So it must go through those 4, yeah? I can't see anything else that it's going to be. So the washer is on the underside. So it has to go through there. If I go down to the next picture, it's not entirely clear, but you can see that there's a screw in each of those bits. So that must be what it's referring to. Yeah? I mean, it's probably obvious. I'm just trying to make sure I'm making all the right decisions. And sort of I'm talking myself into it if there's any doubt at all. But that seems obvious. But, you know, if the manual said put the 4 bolts into the 4 holes that are on the that are on the PCB, then that would just make that little bit more sense. There's another hole there. Because, you know, ultimately we're not very bright. We don't want to make assumptions. Now it does suggest using a screwdriver, so we should probably do that just to tighten these up. You can hold them on the other side while you do so. I think it's probably fine. You do get a little bit of push against that split washer. Lovely. Next, step 3, connect the panel with the board. Place all nuts and washers as shown in the picture. And then bolt the 2 black bolts. Okay. Oh, look, they've got a thing there. That's quite good. Okay, good. I like these close-up photos. Those are good. So you put on a washer, you put on a nut, you use a thing to tighten it up, and then you put in a couple of things into there. Interesting. Right. Let's do the front panel thing with all of the nuts first. So, front panel. This is going to drop over here. It might get caught on your switches, so maybe put all those in the same direction. Would help. Come on. And the switch there. There we go. Okay, that's down and kind of snug. So what we want is all of these washers and all of these nuts. Now I don't have a hex tool for doing that up, so I'm just going to use my fingers. Okay, good. Then a couple of these ones. Now I reckon these are going to go into these 2 sockets here. One there and one there. Now the guide suggests that it shouldn't be completely tight. Is that what that means? Does it say that? Bolt the 2 black bolts. While doing this, do not apply too much force. Okay, so that's what this bit is about. Okay, so I'm just sort of doing them up kind of lightly. Good. Step 4, prepare the bottom PCB by attaching the holders for the power board. Right, put this to one side for a minute. Bring this one into frame. We need 2 of these, and those 2. Where do we attach them? Over there, by the power socket. Okay, so we've got 2 going through from the top through to here, just like we did on the other board. Like so. And on top. And on there. Step 5, connect the 3 boards. Be careful not to bend the headers while you attach them and bolt them in place. So that's this, and this. So let's do these big ones first. So you can see how they marry up. Put them the right way around. Yeah, because we've already taken them apart. So just put them together gently. Make sure it's all good. And then give them a little bit of a rock. Get in there. Nice. You can see things are lining up that we're going to be screwing together in a minute. Yep, do the screws, it says. So let's do that. Ooh. Are we doing one into the plastic one? I think so. So I've got that left. That's got 2 screws. That'll be the last one. So yeah, I think into this corner 2. Into the plastic standoff. Then for this, the little USB one, you can see how this is going to just pop into there. Yeah, you see this bit? It's going into there so that the USB socket is off to the side. Which you can see, that just goes in there. USB socket off to the side. Last 2 screws go in the top. Good. Nice and neat. Step 6. Attach the knobs. All the knobs have a set screw to the side. So a little screw, so you're going to need a flathead screwdriver just to undo that. As you can see underneath that the brass screw goes all the way through, and it's that tightens it onto the shaft of the knob. So you need to undo that before placing it on. Use a straight screwdriver to firm them tightly. To firm them tightly, as shown in the picture. Okay. To firm them tightly. We'll do some firm tightening this. So, generally speaking, what I do, I turn all the knobs the same way so that I know where the pointer. See, I know where the pointer needs to go. So I'm going to stick them all the way over to the left. Now, is this strictly necessary? Because these are flattened pots, which means you're going to be wanting the screw to go against the flat side of this, I think. Yeah, I think that's going to be how it works. So you probably don't need to do this particular action because they can only really go on one way. So the big knobs go across these ones across here. So I'm going to stick this one on. It goes all the way down to the floor, which I don't necessarily want. Okay, with the little ones, Okay, the little ones are fine because they don't go all the way down to the floor. These larger knobs do. So my recommendation is to, when you screw these on, is just to lift it off the front panel a little bit so that it doesn't scrape on the front panel. So I'm going to get my screwdriver seated, and I'm just going to grab the knob and squeeze a little bit just so it comes 1 millimeter off the ground. Then I'm going to screw it in. It sort of self-locates because it's going against a flat surface. And now when you turn it, it's not going to scrape against the front panel. Yeah, so you can see that's just a little bit off. With the little ones, this is not going to matter, I don't think. But again, you've got it turned all the way over to the left, so you point it over to the left. Find and locate the screw thread, and then do it up. I had to get a slightly smaller screwdriver because that's just too big for this. Okay, so once that's in tight, then that moves all right, like that. So do the rest. There, they're good. They're not scraping anything, so let's put the rest of these ones on. Now obviously if you're not able to get your screwdriver into the hole that you need to do, then if you screw it in a little bit so it's moving the knob with it as you turn it, then just turn it around so it's like at 12 o'clock or something like that, and then tighten it up. Good, they're all looking splendid, but you may find that the tops of the knobs are all covered in plastic, which will come off with a little bit of nail action, which gives you a slightly shinier result. Good, all the knobs on. Tuning, wow. Okay, so we're done as far as the build is concerned, and now what we've got to do is calibrate and tuning. This is the most challenging part. Prepare the workbench, make sure you're clean, and we suggest you use foam to support the module. Well, look, it came with a handy piece of foam, so what, like that? Is that good? Connect a patch cable to the CV1 output. Okay, CV1. Use the Crocs to connect the multimeter with the mini jack as shown. Oh, crocodile clips. That's what it's talking about. Crocodile clips. All right, gotcha. With you now. Right. So my multimeter has crocodile clips on the end. So I'm good with that. Yeah. If yours doesn't, I don't know, call the police or something. So, as shown in the picture. So in the picture, I've got... they've got a yellow crocodile clip attached to the black crocodile clip, which is going onto the sleeve. So black goes onto sleeve if you're using actual black and red goes onto tip. Like that. That's what you're trying to achieve. Got it? Good. Right. Connect the module to a USB power source. And this is to come round and plug into the side. Important, to enter calibration mode, you must flip the omni-channel switch 6 times in the first 10 seconds that the unit is powered. Right, we better find that. Omni-chan, this one. Within 10 seconds that the unit is powered, switch it 6 times. Okay, so let's plug this in. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so look, I've got a light flashing over here on my LFO, so I know that something is going on. So that's good. So after entering calibration mode, I don't know, have I? I'm assuming that I have at this point. Set glide 1, glide 2, ADSR, all to about 50%. Set the leg switch to off. Set oscillator 1 octave switch to 32. The multimeter will show about 3 volts. Well, my multimeter's not on yet. It's supposed to be on. Let's just try not to get that on. So let's turn it on to volts DC, do we think? The multimeter will show a measurement of about 3 volts. Use the glide 1 knob to set it as possible to 3 volts. Yeah, well, mine's not anywhere near that. So what I think is that I probably didn't put it into calibration mode, so I'm going to try that again. So I could pull this out, power it up, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so my thing has become unattached. Let's try to sort this out a bit better. Attach that on there. 3 volts, there we go. Right, okay, good. Now we're back in the game. Now we use glide to change it to 3 volts exactly. That looks good. Set the octave 1 switch now to 16. The multimeter will show 6 volts. Yes, use glide 2 to make sure it's on 6.0, which it is. Then set octave 1 switch to 8. Show about 9 volts. Use the A knob, attack knob, to set it to 9. Yeah. After setting it up, make sure not to touch these knobs because the settings will be lost. You need to run it again. Okay, so that's set. Tuning of CV2. Remove the patch cable connected to CV2. Oscillator 2 switch to 16. Use the D knob to set it to 3. Yeah. Set it to 8. S knob. And then to 4. And the R to bring it back to 9. Great. Now switch legato to leg. Remove CV2. Now I've got to set it to a tuner. Now this is a bit trickier. Right, for tuning, I'm going to use my O'Toole here, which has a tuner built into it. You could use a guitar tuner or some other form of tuner. Your phone possibly, but you'd need to be able to generate the sound so that it could hear it. So you need to then plug it into a larger system. But at the moment, I'm going to try to do it with the O'Toole here. I confess the tuner isn't awesome. But hey, let's go with it. So set that onto tuner mode. So remove the multimeter, done that. Connect out to the tuner. So here we go, in, on there, out. Out. Now it currently gives me a D sharp 6. Set the synth as follows. Do not touch the envelope or glide because that's already set. Right. Tune and detune and mix to exactly 50%. Right. Tune. Detune. And mix to exactly 50. I mean, how do you do exactly 50? I mean, you're going to have to eyeball it, aren't you? That's my assumption. Detune. Detune, tune, mix, not touching the glides. I mean, maybe at this point we're supposed to be hearing it. Maybe that would be helpful, because if I can hear it, I can put the detuning at about right, because that's not exactly 50%. But maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should do that. Anyway, let's follow it on through and see what happens. Okay. So those are exactly 50%. So maybe the part of the calibration I'm trying to do is to get those together. Both VCO waves and sync are off. Sync is off. Both VCO waves. Alright, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. So I think, okay, so I don't think we need to listen to it, is my decision from this point, because we have a wave up and a wave down. So we want it in between the two. So listening to it's not important, I don't think, at this point. And sync needs to be off. Which I'm not sure whether sync off is up or down. Okay, it's not going to tell me at the moment. I'm assuming off is up. Anyway, let's keep on going. Filter cut off at 100%. Filter cut off all the way round. Resonance to 0 all the way down. All delay knobs at 0 on the echo. LFO controls at 0. Amp A at 0, amp R at 0. Amp at maximum level. Okay, grab the trimming screwdriver. I'm using this sort of thing. On the bottom side of the unit there are 4 trimmers. Scale, tune, scale 2 and tune 2. Right. So the trimmers are here. And they are labelled scale, tune, scale 2, tune 2. Just going to put those down like that. This is a trimming screwdriver. You just need a small flat screwdriver is all you really need. So oscillator 1. Set it, oscillator 1 to saw. Alright, got a little bit of shenanigans going on here then. So oscillator 1, set it to saw. Press the octave switch from 16 to 18 continuously to switch between A3 and A6. Let me turn that down so that you can tune them to the 6. What? 16 and 8. So what they should be on here is A3 and A6. I'm a long way off. You try to have the exact same note each time the switch is flipping. Doesn't matter what the note is at that time, if it's sharp or flat, you just need to have the same note. When the scale 1 trimmer is set, use the tune to set it to A. Okay. So at the moment we've got F and we've got E. We need it to be the same. So we're going to scale on scale 1, this one here, to try to get the same note between the two. So I'm going to bring this up towards the F. So that's on F. Then I switch it back to the 8 and it's on F sharp. So I'm going to bring the scale down to F, switch it again. Now that's on E, so I'm going to need to bring that up a little bit. That's sharp, so bring it down again. Am I going to just be doing this continuously? So this one, I need to keep on doing this, I think. Oh, this is not scaling like I expect it to. Let's try scaling to the bottom note. So that's E. That's now D sharp. See, they're closer to each other. E2. F5. Maybe I need to be chasing. So maybe I need to keep bringing this one down and keep chasing it. So I'm just going round in circles at the moment. So that's E5. So I need to flip it. So I now need to go to D sharp 2. Yeah, down to D sharp a little bit more. See, they're now very close. I'm going to chase it. There, got it. So the trick seems to be to move one to the other, not both. Don't move both. Turn this off a second. Don't move both. If you try to tune the top one and then the bottom one, you're just going to go round and round in circles. So what you do is you see what the bottom note is, switch to the top note and tune that to it. And then you go back to the bottom note and it's moved. And you go back to the top note and tune again back down to it. And eventually you're going to find, you'll find a place where it scales perfectly from one octave to another. And that's what I believe I'm now on with my D5 and my D2. I think that's right. So once you've done that, then use the Tune 1 trimmer to set it to A. So now we've got the scale right, I should be able to wind it up or down. Let's put it on the slightly less offensive down one. On this second one here, the one that says trim, okay, that's A2. A5! Oh yeah, baby! So that is oscillator 1 tuned. Excellent. Oscillator 2. Set oscillator 1. So oscillator 1 to off. Oscillator 2 to saw. The octave 1 switch. From 16 to 8 continuously to go from A3 to A6. A3. Not quite understanding A6. Saying that is C4. A3. Maybe sync off is down. Yeah, okay. So, point of order then, the sync off bit I think is coming down. Putting it up, put it in sync, which messed it about. Whereas now I've got proper free rein on oscillator 2 with the sync being down. And another note to Dreadbox there, it would be good to put that in the manual. Switch it down. Off is of no use to us if we don't know which direction that is. So, okay, so I want, what do I want? A3 and A5. A3 and A6. So I'm going to try to tune down to E3 just like before. So I've got E3 on there. I'm going to put it up high and tune down to E3. So scale is this one here. Trying to tune down to E6, sorry. E6 and switch it. That's now down to D sharp. So I need to go down to D sharp. Bit further. They are just a tiny bit apart. Good. Now I've got to move the trimmer so it goes to A. A3, A6. Oscillator 2 should be 1 octave higher than oscillator 1. Yes! To save this process, you must flip omni-channel 6 times again. Then you can power off and finish the assembly. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn it off. So it says there's a clicking noise from the VCA. Right, so when you unpower it and power it back on again, you're not going to get any noise because it's now not in calibration mode, which means you're not going to get anything until the envelope or the VCA is fired. So to do that, it's suggesting that there's some other calibration you need to do with the VCA, and this will also help us get some sound out just to test it. So we're powered up again, not in calibration mode. So plug in LFO output to gate input, which is there. Then set the synth as follows. Both oscillator waves to off, mid position, filter cut off at 50%, resonance at 0, amp and A to 0, master at 100. Is that level, does that mean? I'm assuming that means level. LFO depth to 75. LFO rate to 50 to 60. Delay controls at 0. Get the output to a monitor. Now observe each time the VCA is triggered, a small pop occurs. Well, there's something going on, and you can hear it. Got this click. So use a trimmer located on the bottom side VCA click to set it so that the click is as low as possible. VCA click there. This I might need a little Phillips screwdriver. That's louder, obviously. That's louder. So there's some little point I'm looking for. There. Excellent. Now we can finalise the build. Right, let's put the rest of it together and we should be there. So finalise the build by attaching the module to the enclosure. Here's the enclosure. It's got a hole out one side which is going to be for the USB port. There. So it's good to get that round the right way. Attach the rubber feet first. Right, rubber feet. Rubber feet. In kind of a corner type affair. Then the right way round. This goes in here. That's a tight fit. Okay, just take these out of the way. Alright, well I'm going to dig in with that end first a little bit. And I think what I might need to do is just give it a little bit of encouragement to get past the lip on this side. And that is not quite. There we go, poking out the front. I need to poke out the side a little bit. Good-o. Nice. Obviously if you put it into Eurorack, you would drop it in and you would take off the USB little PCB and just use the ribbon power cable. Bish bash bosh. But we're going to use this in the box for the minute. We've got 4 more of these left, for which we'll need our little screwdriver. Congratulations, enjoy your new synthesizer. I will, thanks buddy. So there we have it. The Erebus built into a beautiful box in a beautiful thing. Excellent. Now, how do we get it to play? That's the question. So let's have a look at the instruction manual. Operation. Call it paraphonic synthesis. When oscillators can work in polyphony, but the signal path is all the same for the voices. 2 oscillators. Key press, both oscillators will play. Or 2, what? Oh, okay. So essentially, we use MIDI to play it, is the best way. It does have a gate input and a CV input there. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a keyboard like this one and see if we can make it make sound. I mean, this has MIDI and CV, so we can do it in both ways. I can use this for my output, so I'm going to take an output through there. It's all warmed up in here a little bit now, which is great. So let's try it via CV first. So I'm going to take my pitch output, plug that into the CV input. I think that's nicely nondescript. Or are these outputs? Are these outputs or are they inputs? Not sure. And I'm going to take another one for the gate and plug that into the one that does say gate. Then I need to plug it into power, obviously, dipstick. That seems to work, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see what we can get out of this thing. Well, that's completely ace, and I completely forgot to record the sound onto anything. So there we go. But hey, we can't do everything right all the time, and I will do another demo of that in a minute. But just to finish this off, then the build of the Erebus was straightforward. It's kind of a piece of cake. There's a few things perhaps not very clear in the manual about where the screws go. Little bits and pieces, but hopefully I've brought you through that and ironed those out for you. The calibration was again a little bit tricky. It always is. There's never an occasion where I've gone to the point of calibration where it's just like, oh yeah, this is easy, no bother. It's always a bit fiddly. It's never exactly perfectly straightforward. But hopefully I've narrowed it down for you so you can have a better, quicker experience of it. So remember, switch between those two notes and just tune one to the other. Don't try to tune them both to each other. That just messes everything up. So just pick one, tune the other one to it, and then you tune it to the A note. The sync switch needs to be down. That seemed to be the most important things. Otherwise, heck and all, this is fun. This is fantastic. I'm going to spend a little bit of time now having a really good play with it. Now, for the Hades, I think it deserves its own video at this point. Using everything I've learned from building the Erebus, the Hades should be a doddle. So let's do this one separately. Yeah, so if you've watched this all the way through, hoping I'm going to do the Hades at the end, I'm sorry, I'm going to direct you now to another video. But I think what this video demonstrates is that the Hades ones should be a lot shorter because I will already be aware of the slight trips and snags along the way. And then perhaps I'll do a video of them both together. But for the moment, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to play with this. I'm going to record the sound of it as well at the same time, which will be nice so you can hear a bit of that. And just have a lot of fun because this is fantastic. But great build, no bother. Anyone could do it. All you got to do is follow some instructions and you get a fantastic little synth out of the end. Excellent. Hope that's been helpful. I'm going to have a go. In the meantime, Go make some tunes.